Hi everyone, Reinhard here, and today I want to talk about the Panasonic GH5 and give you 8 reasons why I think it is still worth it in 2020. The GH5 was released in April 2017 and it was a legendary camera when it came out, and I think it still is. Well, actually it got even better as some features got improved by a firmware update like the AF performance. The first point on the list is one of the main reasons why I bought this camera, and that is the IBIS, or in-body image stabilization. This means that the sensor itself is stabilized, and the IBIS of the GH5 is phenomenal. It is really great. I would say it is still one of the best, if not the best, IBIS on the market. If you pair the GH5 with a lens that also has image stabilization, like the Panasonic 12 to 35mm 2.8, you can use dual eyes and get even smoother shots. And this is really great because you don't have to bring a gimbal everywhere you go. Another great feature is IS lock, where the camera locks on a target like on a tripod. I show this now at 35mm. I have seen people getting good results even at long focal lengths like 400 or 600mm. The next point on the list is the body design. The GH5 is really compact and lightweight and also weatherproof, and all these things make it really great for traveling. The GH5 with the 12 to 35mm is a much smaller and lighter setup compared to the D500 and the Sigma 18 to 35mm that I used in the past. And the GH5 also has dual card slots, which is really great, especially for wedding filmmakers, for example. And you can set different functions of these two slots, like backup. And also very important for me was the flip out screen, which is really handy when you want to film yourself. You cannot just check the framing, you can also check if the exposure is right and also the audio levels. The next point on the list is functionality. The GH5 has lots of custom function buttons that can be assigned, and also the menu is very easy to use, and this makes it very efficient to work. Another very important point for me are the resolution and frame rate options. With the GH5 you can film in 4K at 60 frames per second. But yeah, I use the PAL system, so I use the 50 frames per second. And you can also record in 10-bit internally. And in Full HD you can record in up to 180 frames per second, which gives you a really nice slow motion. And also the color science is really great. So the image that you get out of the GH5 is really nice. Next point is lens choices. For example, you can get very small and compact native lenses like this one here, the 12 to 35mm, which are really great for traveling. Or as it is a Micro Four Thirds system, you can adapt pretty much any lens. For example, I got the Metabone Speed Booster for the Nikon mount, and therefore I can use all my great Nikon glass. Next point on the list is built-in features, and I just mention a few ones that are important for me. The GH5 has some more. First on the list is the time-lapse mode, so you can set internally, for example, the interval and the number of frames. Not all cameras provide this. Or for example, you can make a focus transition where you set up to 3 points, and then you can click them and the camera automatically pulls focus to these points, which is also nice. The camera also has focus peaking, which means when you are manually focusing, you see the areas that are in focus by a color, and you can also change the color. I use, for example, red. And then you also have a few features built in to check the exposure, like a histogram, and you can also move this around in the frame wherever you like. And this shows you if you are underexposed or overexposed. And you can also activate zebras that shows area that are brighter than the set value. And you also have waveform and vector scopes, which you usually don't have in this price range. And this brings me to my next point, which is price. At the time of recording this video, you can get the GH5 in Austria for just under 1400 euros, which is a really great price for the features you get in this camera. When I ordered it between Christmas and New Year's Eve, it was even a bit less, about 60 euros less. And also I registered it, and I think I should get 100 euros cashback. But up to now I haven't received it. And last but not least, there is a free app from Panasonic, which is called Image App. And this app is really great because you can remotely control the camera via your smartphone, for example. You can set the focus or change any of the settings. And yeah, it's really useful. And now I also want to mention a few points where the GH5 is not the best. And the first one is the Lowlight performance. As the GH5 has a micro four thirds sensor, and this is smaller than full frame of course, and therefore you have more noise in the picture generally. And I tried it in my last video where I filmed myself just after the sunset, and I used the camera at ISO 2000, and this was, I would say, almost borderline, but still usable. But generally I wouldn't use it above 1600 if not necessary. Otherwise it is anyhow too dark, or you have to add some lights. If you know you shoot a lot in low light conditions, I wouldn't recommend the GH5, and instead I would get a full frame camera like the very famous Sony A7 III, for example. And I also took a lot of stills on my last trip, and I noticed even at very low ISOs like 200 or 400 I see more noise already compared to my D500. But anyhow, the images are still very good, and I think it is also okay if you make larger prints. I think the 20 megapixels are enough, and also my D500 doesn't have more megapixels. So another point where the GH5 doesn't shine is the continuous video autofocus. I tried it on my last video where I filmed myself, and I think it works really good because they released the firmware update 2.6 in November, and I think the performance was improved a lot. But I think I will do another test where I see if the focus is still pulsing. And the last point is battery life. I know I've seen a lot of reviews of this camera where they mention that battery life is very good. Maybe for mirrorless cameras this is true, but as you may know, I used Nikon DSLRs in the past, and if I compare it to those, like the D5300 or the D500, the battery life is quite worse, but that's still okay, and I got some extra batteries, so it's not an issue. Up to now I don't see more cons. To summarize, I think the GH5 is an amazing camera, and you can do very professional stuff if you have the right lenses on there and if you take your time to understand the camera. Please let me know in the comment section below if you agree or if you have any points to add. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!